Okay, so now in this assignment, data manipulation, we will see a bit more about working with data in R. The first thing we will do is we will set the directory. We will use setwd function to set the directory. Once we set the directory, then we can read any file from that directory directly. So how do we set the directory? We will have to go to the folder where our file is stored. So we will go to this folder where our file is stored. We will copy the address tab like so. And then we will just paste it in the setwd command. After pasting it, we will have to then replace all the backslashes with forward slash. And then we will just have to press Ctrl plus Enter to set the directory. We can also use getwd function to know the current directory. Once our directory is set, we can simply read our CSV file stored in this directory using the read.csv function. There are many other formats that R can read in, but we will be largely using CSV files for our assignments. So that was one way of reading our file into R. We could alternately mention the entire address of our file in the read.csv command to read in our data without setting the directory. We will use read.csv function and mention the location of the file within quotes like so, and then we can store it in a variable and we can just press Ctrl plus Enter and our file will be read in R. So that is how you set the directory and read the file in R. Now the next step is to check the basic structure of the data using str command. By the way, if you want any help on any function, just go to the console at the bottom and type question mark followed by the function and then press enter. You will get help on the right hand side at the bottom explaining about the function. You will have all the details about the function here. If that does not help, then we can just Google it. We have got a lot of help available on internet. Whatever problem you will come across, there are high chances that somebody else had encountered a similar issue in the past and the solution is already posted there. Now back to understanding the structure of the data, we can simply use str function and mention our data frame. We can then press Ctrl plus Enter and we can see here in the output it says that we have a data frame with 47 observations with 10 variables. The variables are also given here on left side, then their classes are given integer, numeric, etc. And then few of the observations are also given here. So that is how you check the structure of the data. We can find more details about the data using summary command. We can use summary function and then we can get all the details of all the variables as shown here. Now let us name the columns of our data frames. We will use call names function, then our data frame, and we will use the vector as shown here for naming the columns. We can also use names function to see the names of our data frame. Next important concept is subsetting. This is a very foundational knowledge and we will be using it throughout our assignments. So let's see how do we do it. So let's say we want to subset our column A, which is our first column. So we will subset the column A, which is our first column, and we will store it in X. To subset, we will write the name of the data frame followed by square brackets. To subset a column, we will have to write it after the comma, as we have written here. To subset rows, we will write the row number and then put a comma. Now just run this function and our first column is subsetted. We can also subset using the name of the columns. In that case, we will have to use $sign. We will use $sign with our data frame and mention the column name as shown here. We can also subset multiple columns by mentioning the vectors containing column number as shown here. We can also subset all columns excluding specific columns. So here we are excluding column number 2 and 3. Now let's say we want to create a new column and add it into our data frame. So we will first create a column which is a multiple of column A and column B and name it as computed column. So computed column is a vector which will contain value of column A multiplied by column B. Now to add it into our data frame, we will write our data frame dat and then followed by the new vector computed column. This way we can create a new column in our data frame and then we can simply assign the values which are stored in computed column. So that is how you add a new column in our data frame. We can use head command with our data frame or matrix or vector to get the first 10 items to view. Sometimes to get an idea about the data, we use this command. Similarly, we can also use tail command with our data frame or matrix or vector to get the last 10 items to view. So that was a glimpse of the data manipulation that you do in R. Now as we have read our data, we can even write it back to CSV file using write.csv function. We can use write.csv function, mention our data frame, and the second argument would be the directory where we want to store our CSV file. We can use this function and simply press Ctrl plus enter, and then R will write CSV file of our data frame and store it in the location mentioned here. Now we can go into this directory and we can simply locate our new file that we have just created. So that is all from this assignment. We will see much more in the upcoming sessions. Thanks for watching the video. I'll catch you again in the next video now.